Hi everybody, and welcome to the Shirley Ryder Show. You're with Shirley, and of course Janne Guitargirl is here as well with us. Now, first of all, kicking off with some very sad news. Unfortunately, as many of you will know, Simon Elton, who is a very well-known bass player around Tauranga and around the country, and friends with a lot of local musicians and musicians further afield, passed away today. So we just wanted to pay our tributes before we started the show. And Jan's got something you wanted to share with us.
Yes, I was very fortunate to meet Simon, and when Graham Clark's book on Richie Pickett, he had a launch at number 1 The Strand, and Simon very kindly, there's a picture of Simon there on the left with his signature, and he actually wrote, that's Simon Elton, and there's a chapter about the dealings that he had of playing in bands with Richie.
And I did notice too that Derek Jacobs, or Kokomo, I think it was,
yes,
are going to be holding an event to remember Simon's songs.
Songs for Simon.
It's called Songs for Simon, and friends, it's open for friends and musicians to come along and sing a song or play a tribute or just have a listen, I guess.
At the Tapuna Hall.
Yeah, 24th of July at 8 p.m. So I've got that down on my page here, so you can just check it out there. So if you want to come along and pay tribute, sing a song for Simon, that'll be awesome.
Yeah.
And that's instead of the Kokomo concert that they had, they're doing this instead. So that's really lovely. And Jan has actually offered to sing us a little tribute herself for Simon.
Oh yes, because actually this weekend I went to my uncle's funeral as well. So my album Seasons, this song is the title song from it, and I wrote it after my published it after my dad passed away. So here's a little song about life and seasons that change. So it's, okay. Seeds are springing from the ground, lambs are frisking, leaping round, bees are humming, happy sound. Spring is bursting, life abounds, and seasons go in cycles. Babies cry, jasmine wafting, hills look hazy, bathers swimming, tanners lazy, summer waves are rolling, arm in arm we're strolling, seasons go in cycles, and lovers sigh.
And for those of you that just tuned in, that was a song for Simon Elton.
Yes.
Yeah, just a dedication there. And
just died a couple of days ago.
Just to let you know that there will be on the 24th of July at 8 o'clock. Kokomo are holding a tribute sort of a thing where you can get up and sing a song if you're a friend of Simon's or if you're a musician. So free
Songs
to go along.
for Simon at the Tapuna Hall.
Yep, awesome.
Okay.
So, moving on with the show, and basically tonight we'll be singing some more songs.
Yes.
Dan's got some more lovely songs for us.
Because it's not only about the dispatch, some of them, it's a memory of when they hatched. So we have, is that right? The birthday.
I don't know. And we've got some poetry. We do have a little bit about quiche. I don't know if Jan's got the quiche cheesecake out of her bag yet from the cafe.
Yes, it's in the fridge. I can grab
she's going to have to run to the fridge. That'll be at the end of the show. We're going to have a taste and see. We already had one. I had it hidden from me because otherwise I would have eaten it. So I'm going to tell you a secret where to get quiche cheesecake. It's yummy. Soul Crushers, yes, we're going to be talking about a book that I wrote, and psychological domestic violence, a bit of a heavy subject for tonight. But first of all, I've got a song to sing for Wayne Melville. He's been told to tune in, but whether he is or not,
That's what I meant, dispatched, and he was hatched many years ago.
So this is for you, Wayne, and the bass man. Here we go. By the way, it was Graham Hardacre that actually made that little... Well, I wrote the tune, but he turned it into a Christmas carol, actually. Then we confused all sorts of things. Better than singing Happy Birthday.
Yeah.
So, hey, thanks very much for joining us. Hi, Glenn. I can see Glenn on there. And that could be...
A couple of people,
Yeah, Graham Hardacre's on there, and it's one with a guitar or a bass guitar and some glasses. Hi, guys. Thanks for joining us. And so before we move on to our serious topic, Jan's going to sort of softly wean us into there, which is called psychological domestic violence.
Oh, yes.
But don't worry, it's not all serious. We lighten up.
Yes, because we're touching on like psychological, and I had issues with a stalker.
And you've been playing mind games on me with that keto.
Oh, yes. So also on my album, it's song number 7 on the album. And I won't mention names, but if the person's listening, you'll probably know it's about them.
Can't see them on there.
So... Wonder what he's doing when I'm all alone. When I pretend to sleep, he's going through my phone. Feeling claustrophobic, friends I go to see. He's already phoned ahead to check on me.
He's already phoned ahead to check on me.
Finally he's gone out down to the store. I find my contact list, he's hidden in a drawer. He locked me in the bedroom, forcing me to stay. I climbed out the window, I was off and away. She climbed out the window, she was off and away. Well, I'm a muso and a dancer, looking for a sweet romancer. I'm a strummer and a hummer, writing songs for the summer. I'm a skylark, he's a pool shark. I'm a gypsy, feeling tipsy. Well, I've been sad and I've been lonely, looking for my one and only, and I didn't see it coming. Now I'm running, yeah. Now I'm creeping out, I had to get away. Working undercover, he finds out anyway. Spotted where my car was, he knows I'm in town. Studied my odometer, his way to track me down.
Studied my odometer, his way to track me down.
I'm a muso and a dancer, looking for a sweet romancer. I'm a strummer and a hummer, writing songs for the summer. Just a little snippet there.
We've got another stalker song coming at the end of the song too, by the way.
Yeah.
That'll be quite interesting. But now we come to the serious part.
Yep.
Yes. So, how should we start this, Jen?
Probably talk about the book. Shirls wrote this book a few years ago, and I've bought a copy, which Shirls has very nicely offered to autograph for me.
Yeah, I'll do that. And it's called Soul Crushers. I was going to call it Kia Kaha, because it's kind of about being strong, you know, when you're a victim. But at the end of the day, I decided to stick to Soul Crushers, which is what people do to you when they crush your soul with psychological domestic violence.
Yeah, so tell us, Shirl, what's the book about?
Oh, what's happening there? Sorry. So the book is really about my story to do with psychological domestic violence.
Yeah.
So it kind of sets out what happened to me, what happened to my kids, what happened to me in the family court as well.
Yeah.
And it also gives you ideas of what's a healthy relationship, what's unhealthy, how to find out, and where to go to if you're in a bad situation. Because it's not really, like I set out to write this book, and it's not really about, as I said, it's not about black eyes and things. It's not about obvious violence.
No.
It's about the psychological stuff, which is really hard to see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So who should read this book?
Okay, so maybe I should just quickly read some of the back cover. I won't be too long. So, a former victim of psychological violence, I'm sharing my personal story in the hope that others will wise up to their abusers. This book is for you if your partner does any of the following to you: frightens, isolates, controls money, lies, cheats, pushes, threatens to hit, minimises wrongdoing, uses put-downs, manipulates, plays mind games, sexually interferes with your children, watches excessive pornography.
Wow.
This book is also for you if a family court-appointed psychologist appears to have written a biased report about you.
Wow. And I believe you wrote that book under a pseudonym.
I did.
And there's a good reason for that.
There is. At the time, it was 2009 when I wrote it, and which was after the relationship had ended.
Yeah.
And I obviously didn't want to identify the person. I didn't want to get myself in trouble with psychologists who are very powerful and court systems that are very powerful.
And also thinking about your kids.
Of course, thinking about my kids and myself, because people, you don't know, people might pick up a book like this and go, oh, well, now I know how to play her.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'd protect myself too. Yeah.
So what is psychological abuse?
Yeah, well, I think I've written that down somewhere so I can just quickly...
Yep.
So basically... psychological abuse, as far as I'm concerned, is things like humiliating people, or your partner would just take it to a relationship, but it can appear anywhere in the workplace or anything. Criticising, control, shame, accusing, falsely accusing, I suppose, blaming, denial, emotional neglect and isolation. And just to name a few examples of that would be something like, threats, monitoring your whereabouts, like what you were talking about before.
Okay.
Minimising things, accusing you of abuse, destroying things of yours, hurting pets, things like that, saying you have no humour when they're name calling you or something like that, shutting down communication, giving you silent treatment on purpose. I just want to qualify that because I do that sometimes, but when I do it, it's because I'm like, I can't deal with the situation, but if they're doing it as a punishment, and this goes on for days, silent treatment, maybe I'm abusive, I don't know. Withholding affection, and in which, once again, you're not going to be affectionate of someone's actions. But this is doing it as a manipulative thing. Oh, that's someone just said something. No, we're live now. Oh, she probably can't hear me. Never mind. Withholding affection, interrupting, dehumanising, manipulation, I've said that, and stopping social interaction.
Understand
with friends
that.
And things,
Now, you also mentioned a term in there, you spoke about gaslighting. How would you define gaslighting?
So gaslighting is basically a form of sustained psychological manipulation that causes the victim to question or doubt their own sanity, judgment or memories.
Okay.
So a guy called, I'm not sure how to say his name, but it's spelled Bergen. He said, at its heart, gaslighting is emotional abuse.
Okay.
Yeah,
and you've got examples of that in your book.
Yeah, totally. Well, it was my whole life, so yeah.
And also, it's sad that both your kids suffered abuse. And in what ways was the system there to help you, or was it not helpful?
Okay, so obviously in some ways it was helpful, and I'm talking now directly about the children, but in other ways it was not helpful. The family court system is really quite a scary place to be, and there's no comeback. It's not like you're in a proper court, where you've got jury and all that sort of thing. You're actually, it's all behind closed doors. So I'm going to be careful what I say here, but things were let's just say things were manipulated to read differently to what they were, with affidavits from people that are lying, and it's just a really messy thing. So there's that side of it. The family courts is quite a scary place. And I mean there are good things too. I mean, the law is there to help you as well. Like, in my case, I got a protection order, and I think I wrote something about that further down the list, which was very helpful. Went some way towards helping. You can get counselling, things like that. So, kids had counselling.
So because you've brought that up, I might actually just go to that question now. Can you explain what is a protection order and who needs one?
Okay, so I suppose like a protection order is something that I had to pay the law. I had to go and see a lawyer. It's not like where you just go to the police station and you just get one of those other trespass orders. It's different to that.
This is different.
So you have to be able to prove, and it's quite significant proof that you're being abused. And which I had to do, and it was obvious because it was happening while I was at my lawyer's office.
Yeah.
And the police, it was happening in front of the police, so it was quite obvious. But so when you've done that, then you just pay. Back then, in those days, it was $50. I don't know what it is now. And you can get that pays for your protection order. You have to go and see a lawyer. And it starts off as a temporary protection order. And if the other person doesn't go against it, doesn't contest it, it turns permanent until you decide to. So there is a thing called the power and control wheel. Okay, so basically, and there's also a healthy relationship wheel too. So you can see the difference between healthy relationships and unhealthy relationships.
Right.
And I'll put those in the comments. But just to quickly set that out, so in order to, because I went to a counsellor and that's where I understood about this, but so recognising an unhealthy relationship and the power and control wheel. So if you think of a wheel and it's got the spikes. Yeah. So on the inside, so at the very core of that wheel, is your psychological abuse. So you've got things like like economic, it may not be all of these things, but economic abuse, coercion and threats, intimidation, emotional abuse, and every spike, blaming, using the children is another big one. So, you can't have the children or coming between or whatever. Male privilege, of course, this isn't always. It's not always, there are men that are abused as well. I'm just using this. This is how they set it out. Yeah. And then, so if you think of that, and there's all examples of that under it, of what sort of things they are, which the book, if you read it on the book, or even if you look in the power and control wheel, you'll see what sort of things they are. And then on the outside of that wheel is where it leads to sexual or physical. So action, violence. Yeah. So, but at the core of physical and sexual violence is always this other stuff.
Right.
And if I can just quickly say that the stages of abuse, so it's a cycle, all right? It starts with your tension building. Yeah. Right, so and then there's an incident of abuse or a violent act, depending on what happens. Yeah. And then reconciliation. Yep. And then it's all calm again. And around it goes again. Tension builds and on it goes. It's a cycle.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. I was also going to ask you, you mentioned about pornography at one stage.
Oh, yeah.
So when is that abusive to a partner, for those who don't understand?
I guess it's abusive when the partner's not interested in it's taking the place of the partner and the partner's not happy with that.
Yeah.
And one thing I have found since writing this book is a lot of women say, that's okay. And I'm not speaking for every woman, because that's fine. Some women might be fine. But I found when I wrote this book, a lot of women came to me back then and said, I don't like it. Yeah. And yet I say I do. So something to bear in mind.
So it's sort of intimidation as well.
Oh, it's not intimidating. It's just...
can be uncomfortable.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just kind of abusive, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, it can be. Not always. I'm not saying it's always abusive, but it can be.
Yeah.
And what you were saying before about organisations. Yeah, so I wrote those on the back, which you can find in the back of the book if anybody read it. But there's lots of organisations that help, like this course that I went on that I'll sing a song about soon. It's called Women Against Violence Education, or WAVE. And then I wrote a song called WAVE, Him Goodbye.
Yep.
And that was all a really great education program. There's a lady I've just made friends with as well. And I'll write her name and her course in there as well. She's done some great stuff to do with women's wellness. So I put that down, and I'm sorry I cannot remember the name of it, but I will put it in the comments underneath. There's things like I went to Salvation Army Counselling Services, which is free. The family lawyer, obviously a family lawyer. The police were friggin' great.
They were great for me too.
If you have to, go on a benefit or whatever. Legal agency service, ACC counselling, you got food bank, if women's refuge if it's really bad. Yeah. Or else just do what I did, I just hid out with a friend. But Bernardo's, now they were great actually for child supervision, if that needs to happen. And just different things. I just noticed I got food bank written in here twice. I don't know why. Citizens advice. Citizens advice for free legal advice.
Yes.
And just churches actually, and victim support. But just what you guys are saying. Great, healthy, and balanced discussion. Oh, thank you, Peter.
Cool.
Hi, Colleen. Yeah. So
And you've also mentioned like battered wife syndrome.
I think that's like what's that? That's all right. Someone sent me a friend request. It's coming down on my thing. So, yeah, I think that how I would see that anyway, and I might be wrong, and correct me if I am, but it's kind of like PTSD, which is post-traumatic stress disorder, but you're in this sort of zone of that. Like, I remember, and I can't remember if I said this in my book, but when I first escaped, well, one of you used words escaped, but got out of it. I was at my parents' house and someone knocked on the door, and I was terrified. I was just.
I've been there too.
Yeah, and it was, you have. A police officer, it was actually a police officer, which was a friend of my mum and dad's, because Dad used to help out at the police station. And he said to my dad afterwards, he said, your daughter has battered wife syndrome. He actually said that. So, that was interesting.
Wow. So, what can those of us that have experienced this, what can we learn from your book?
I don't know.
I suppose it's help. Or
I suppose you know.
There's light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah, and how to go from being a victim to getting out of there, where to go, recognising what things are that are abusive, that aren't a smack in the face with your fist or something. No, not obvious abuse, but that real hard stuff to work out. And knowing where to go and become a survivor rather than a victim. Because, I see myself as a survivor, I don't see myself as a victim.
And I believe you've still got some copies of your book.
I do. I don't have many, actually. I've actually given a few to counsellors, and they're in their rooms, and I had to when I wrote it. One day went down to, I think 3 copies might have gone to Wellington Library, because you kind of have to when you print a book. And I had a copy in Tauranga Library. I don't know if it's still there, but I think I've only got 15 copies left, so I kind of don't want to. I'm not doing the hard sell.
Actually, I remember a counsellor that I went to, I remember seeing the book on the shelf, so they are using it.
Oh, that's cool. But if anybody wants to borrow a copy, if you're in a really bad situation and you want to, I think I might be happier to lend them out than sell them. But if someone really wants one, I'll
You've got a few you can sell.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks, Shirls, for doing that. That's all right.
Corrections might be interested in that, sharing it with probation officers. Okay. Now that you know about the WAVE course, which is Women Against Violence Education, which was, I don't know if it still runs, but it was amazing. And it was just for women that had been in abusive situations, and some of them were horrendous. Anyway, so this is a song called WAVE. Doing to you, and it's so unfair. Black eyes, your wedding ring, he doesn't care. So wave him goodbye, my friend. In time, you're looking hot, will mend. This amazing keto cheesecake that you can get if you're on keto diet from Robert Harris at the Pipamoa Plaza, which is really nice, and I had to buy extra one so that I could wait
so
till
she
tonight.
could scoff one.
So I could scoff one. I didn't scoff the one for tonight. But anyway, getting back to our most important subject. So here in Tauranga, we, as most of you know who live here, have a new rubbish system. And we actually heard some people talking about it today, didn't we?
We did.
At the in the cafeteria, because some guy was complaining that other people were putting their rubbish in his bin. So people were picking it up. And I thought, well, that's actually a good point. I mean, maybe that's why they didn't pick mine up.
So anyway, you decided to write a poem.
I've decided to write a poem, and it is actually rubbish night tonight, so I have to go and sort the recycling out very shortly. So
we'll do that after the show.
This is a song about Tauranga, a beautiful city in Aotearoa. And it's called Bin City. Because there's so many of them. Okay. So Bin City. Bins here, bins there. Bloody bins everywhere. Bin City, here we come. Collecting maggots, having fun. On the grass, on the path. Taking up my bloody park. Hung the green bin upside down and left my old pie on the ground. I'll lift the lid and put it in the neighbour's new recycling bin. Without glasses, what to do? Is cockroach graded 1 or 2? Poor Tom, he is colour blind. It's yellow day, not red. he'll find. Bins here, bloody bins everywhere. Story will be coming up, I think, hoping to have it on Monday. Depends how quickly I get out the interview out to her to check first.
Yep.
And she's amazing, and this is the second part. Of course, I've already put the first part up. This is Steve Laffin's CD, who was our last month's person of the interview, and this CD we're going to give away to some lucky person, but more details about that.
Another show.
Another show, yeah, not tonight.
Yep.
But we'll out to Graham Hardacre.
I'm not saying he's a creep.
No, it's just being silly because he's on wine. Okay.
Starting with
every move you make, every step you take, every move you make, every step you take, I'll be watching you. 'Cause I'm a creep, I'm a weirdo, I'm standing on your lawn, I'm spying through your window. Don't stand so close to me. Don't stand so close to me. Psycho killer, this is say, run away. Yeah. The first cut is the deepest. Baby, I know the first cut is the deepest. When it comes to being lucky, she's cursed. Oh, when it comes to loving me, she's worse. 'Cause I'm a creep, I'm a weirdo, I'm standing on your lawn, I'm licking your rubbish bin, and I'm looking through your window. Yeah. 1, 2, Freddy's coming for you. 3, 4, better lock your door. 5, 6, grab your crucifix. 7, 8, it's getting late. I'm a creep. Can you pick up that rubbish, please, Janne, Guitargirl? What, you're standing outside Shirley's window? Okay, so the keto diet and the keto cheesecake, as promised.
Yep.
So Janne's going to go.
Yep.
To where are you going to?
Grab the
She's going to go and grab the cheesecake. So while she's gone, I'll just quickly say thanks very much for tuning in. Now, it's going to be another heavy topic next week too. We're going to be doing our best to talk about narcissism, which kind of follows on from the whole psychological domestic violence thing. It's a bit of a big topic too, and obviously I'm not a psychologist, so I'm going to be talking from, I used to run actually I still do run, but I don't go on there very often now, a narcissism page on Facebook, which I've run for quite a few years. So I'm kind of and I've had a bit of experience on it, so I'm just kind of going from that sort of a point of view as a layman type person and having heard a lot of people's experiences. Anyway, on to some happy thoughts now. And we've got the keto cake. Oh, she's put it into 4 pieces. Here we go.
Yeah.
Keto cheesecake, guys. How's that? It actually is really nice.
It is. It's yummy.
It's yum
really yummy.
So we're gonna have a piece, and you're gonna watch us eat. A piece. Okay, this is so good, you guys. You are so missing out. And Graham was going on about his pizza before. Eat your heart
And those of you that don't understand rare keto diet, there is no sugar in it.
Oh, thank you, yeah.
Yeah.
So Robert Harris, if
Yum.
you're into keto, it tastes actually better than anything with sugar in anyway. It's no sugar. They showed me what's it called, Stavia, or I'm not sure how you say
Stavia
it.
or something, yeah.
I should have actually looked up that. And
Really healthy stuff.
yeah, so it was like 0.2 amount of like that yucky stuff that was in it. I mean, nothing. So,
Yum.
but it tastes so good.
Your cat's meowing.
Oh, she can wait. She's got some jelly meat coming. I can have the other piece too.
Yummy.
Yeah, so guys, thank you very much for tuning in. And I better not pig out totally, I suppose. Thanks very much for tuning in. And hope you enjoyed it. And we'll catch you next week, hopefully.
If anyone's got any questions, just send Shirley a message.
I should also say, Tuesday nights is the new night now, we've decided, because Jen works on Monday, so it gets a bit tricky.
Yep.
So we're going to go Tuesday night, go live, and Sierra Leone's getting frustrated, so we're going to have to go. So we'll see you sometime between 6 and 7, depending on what the night's doing, next Tuesday. And don't forget, Carol Stories, part 2, will hopefully be up on Monday next week.
Yep.
Cool. Take care. Have a great weekend.
Guys.
And happy birthday, Wayne.